Okay, in this video I want to go through the vector cut tab and explain why it's different and why it's not. I'm actually scrolling on the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. You can actually see that it cut off a little bit of the white space, but we're pretty much at our square that we had. So here's our vector cut tab. When we open up the vector cut tab, we're going to see all of those colors that we had created in Illustrator, and then everything on the right side here and down is all our vector information. Here's our raster information for our raster tab. Here's our vector information for our vector tab. So here's where we can assign a value to each of these colors. For instance, these black lines, these are the one thing that looks really odd here. This happens a lot with raster images that are embedded in PDF files. So you'll notice that in our raster engrave mode, we see the picture. We don't see any of this extra stuff. But in our vector cut, it's giving us vector information, not black and white information. So it understands the bounding box of that photograph, but it doesn't understand the actual raster information or pixel information. So instead, it gives us a series of these black rectangle bars, which are really annoying. But luckily, because we have different color modes set, we can set our black to do 0 passes. So the laser cutter will not cut or pass any times on black. Now that's great for this square here, but it kind of ruins cutting these shapes out. So luckily in this, if you didn't do it right in Illustrator, we can come back and we can make these a different color. I can make these green just by clicking on them and clicking on green. So now I can assign these to the green channel. Now you wouldn't want to do all of this. You don't want to do this in Retina Engrave as much as you don't have to. Much better getting this stuff done in Illustrator. It's faster and easier. And probably, I'm pretty sure all of the photograph information will come in as black. So it's probably a good practice not to use black for any of your cutting or vector layer options. Leave that so it'll pop up under the photograph part and we can just put it to 0 passes and be done with it. Okay, so now it's just a matter of deciding what I want to cut and what I just want to score in as a line. So really, I want to cut the pink line in, or cut out the pink line, and then everything else I just kind of want to draw in there. Actually, maybe I'll cut out the green too, so we'll have holes inside of these circles. So to cut, what I'm going to do, and here we have our order. So what color is going to cut first, the speed, how fast it's going to cut, the power, how powerful it is, and how many times it's going to do it. One thing to be sure of is in your Illustrator file, make sure you don't have tons of duplicates on top of each other. Sometimes people will copy things and just leave them sitting on top of each other. Every path that's there, even if you can't see it, will cut. So if you have 7 of these stars on top of each other, the machine's going to cut 7 times, and that's annoying. So make sure you only have 1 in your file. Anyway, back to this. We want to make sure that our cutting happens last, because what might happen is that our material drops or shifts after it gets cut out. So we want to do all our drawing first. So we're going to draw green. So green is, and we're going to draw red, and we're going to draw blue. So that's fine. Red's first, green's second, blue is 5th, and then red is 4th, so that's not good. So I'm going to hit this down arrow, make that 4. Hit this arrow, makes magenta the 5th color it's going to cut. And we'll do, let's see, 0 passes for yellow, because we don't really have yellow except for this little circle up here. As an example of the different colors. I don't even need to cut that out. For cutting, we're going to need to do more than 1 pass. It's going to need to be 3 passes. And we're going to have to slow the speed down. So we want to power that laser at 100% power, but our speed's going to be more like 30 or 35, so it cuts all the way through. Now, with the yellow, with the cyan, the green, and the red, we're going to want maybe less power and faster speeds. So we'll do 100 power and 100 speed for red, the little house. We'll turn down the green to 50% power. To see what that looks like. Close enough. and cyan we'll turn down to maybe 10% power to see what that looks like. Just different options. Okay, and these you can all mess with. Alright, so that's using the vector cut. In the last video I'm just going to show you how to set up for cutting, and then we'll run it.